Coverage moves north now to the area where Dorian's winds were felt for most of the day today.
Local 10 News reporter Andrew Perez is live in Stuart with what he saw. Andrew.
Well, unfortunately, I can't say that we're out of the woods just yet. I know that's annoying, but authorities say they're still concerned about the wind gusts. They're still concerned about the storm surge, the water rising as Dorian moves away. A downright downpour across Martin County. Dorian moving close, most places shut down, but Erica Watkins opening her bar to give locals something to do.
Everyone's kind of stuck in their house like everyone else. I'm glad everyone did the safe thing and boarded up like we should have, but we definitely escaped Hurricane Dorian.
Dorian putting on a show, though, just off the coast, finally moving north after a slow and steady crawl.
We live out here on the island, and we were waiting till the last minute to find out if we were going to leave or not. And was 185 still, we would have left, but this actually, we got very lucky.
Keep in mind, mandatory evacuations are still in effect for residents of the Barrier Islands in St. Lucie County. Martin County, just south, however, has lifted mandatory evacuations. You could hear cheers from residents when it was announced in the afternoon.
People coming and going, people coming out, up the other end, they're coming out, checking on other people.
But authorities warning that residents should still stay indoors and stay off the roads. Those wind gusts are still pretty powerful, and the storm continues slamming the beaches. It's clearly already done a number on the coastline after days of churning water. Residents say they're just ready for this to pass.
We were all worried about it. I think up until about probably this morning, we were all worried about it, especially when it stopped, because a storm that big, that powerful, you don't really know what it's going to do, because sometimes when they're that strong, they just do what they want.
So taking a live look right now, you see that boat way back there. Literally just moments ago, we had police and fire coming out here. They rescued an elderly man who has been stranded on that boat with his small dog. We got a bunch of video of it that we're trying to turn around to at least start showing you tomorrow morning. And authorities had to rescue him. They say that he had been riding out the storm on that boat with his dog, lost controls. Another reason why authorities say you should heed the warnings and make sure you stay safe, find a safe space when these things happen. That's the latest here in Stuart, though. I'm Andrew Perez, Local 10 News.
The importance of evacuating. Okay, Andrew, we'll look forward to your reporting there on that evacuation, or at least on that rescue.
And our team coverage moves now to Juno Beach, where some came to the coast to watch the storm.
Let's go to Local 10 News reporter Ross Palumbo live now with that story. Ross?
Well, Calvin and Nicole, it has been coming and going all night long. The rain is now just stopping. A little while ago, it was coming down pretty hard. The wind is all but stopped, even though it was kicking a little while ago. And the waves back here, they look like they're dying down quite a bit. Nothing like what we saw earlier in the day. In fact, it has been like this all day long. It has been in and out of storm effects for hours. The back and forth between Dorian storm bands. Either running from the rain, waiting and watching under the pier, or running to the waves.
Nobody really knew what it was going to do.
Pam Arupa now here with her whole family after days of Dorian's offshore spin, leaving them stir crazy.
Well, we really didn't have any storm at all.
But there was storm enough to see major stocking up, staging of emergency vehicles, and storm-forced mandatory evacuations. Mere moments after the all clear, with evacuees returning, this terrifying surf suddenly irresistible for thrill seekers. Do you feel safe being out there in all this chop?
Absolutely. Born and raised Florida boy.
Most Floridians now flowing in here, though, just to see the surf, take selfies, and stand with their children to see Dorian's final demise.
Just to come and see it, we had to get out.
Others getting out to see what the rough surf spit up from the depths.
A little bit of a treasure hunt on the Treasure Coast. It's fun for me. It keeps me out of trouble.
Despite no major damage, the waves still churning up deadly trouble for turtles. Hundreds of eggs exposed and destroyed. Hatchlings left lifeless even as Dorian was losing strength.
I'm so sad to see all these turtle eggs that are out on the beach.
For now, though, there is nothing to do but pick up the pieces until the tropics birth the next disaster.
I'm just trying to get as much as I can from what I see. Saw a cup and figured I'd just pick up and start trying to help.
Well, at this hour, even rescuers are now wrapping up. At its height, we had 11 shelters open. Now we're down to 5. And at its height, we had nearly 3,000 people in those shelters. Right now, Calvin and Nicole, only about 150 people left, and those people just wrapping up and waiting for rides.
All right, Ross Palumbo, thank you.
People in Boynton Beach were also trying to get a glimpse of Dorian today.
But officials were out to make sure people stayed safe. Local 10 News reporter Roy Ramos is in Boynton Beach with that story.
Heavy winds and rain swept across Palm Beach County Wednesday with a tropical storm warning in place. Areas all along the coast feeling the wrath of Hurricane Dorian as it crawled up the east coast of Florida. In Lantana, at the peak of high tide, water levels rose drastically. The downpours not helping the levels subside.
The sea level has just breached this parking lot here. I was just standing on a dock, that water obviously right over that. You can see this boat, just how high it is. It's about the same level as this parking lot.
I just knew there was a king tide, so I knew it was bad timing, but obviously nobody necessarily prepares for this.
Moving south to Boynton Beach Inlet, we watched as squalls of rain pounded the coast. The rough chop not enough to deter some people from getting in the water with wave runners, something officials discouraged.
Here is where conditions continue to worsen. Take a look right here behind me. You can see the rough surf we have been watching as set after set has come in. A lot of white water here, and take a look. No surfers in these waters because the conditions are just too rough.
And have you ever seen the beach like this before?
And never.
You've never seen it this rough?
Never.
Would you get in that water?
No way, I'll say.
You're not a little intimidated by the currents and the rough water?
The current here, yeah, we were saying. I mean, the inlet, it's just moving like crazy.
Yeah, and there's also no lifeguards out here.
But yeah,
No,
I wouldn't jump in today.
And that tropical storm warning here in Palm Beach County has since been lifted. Evacuations have also been lifted, and we're told that residents that were staying inside of those shelters are now going back home. They expect those shelters to be closed tomorrow at 9 a.m. Here in Boynton Beach, Roy Ramos, Local 10 News.